Here's an interesting question.
I'm ready.
All right. So when the sun goes down in Arizona, all the cops go home, apparently.
Yeah, this is a little bit surprising. And Gaydos, I'm not going to lie. There's a part of me that's like, are we giving away like secret intelligence information here? We learn that after dark in the state of Arizona, 13 of the 15 counties have no DPS staffing on the freeways.
DPS not patrolling the highways in 13 of the state's 15 counties.
Maricopa and Pima, Phoenix and Tucson, are the two that do, but even they are running at about a third the staff. So if you've been one of these people like, you know what? I drive up and down the 40. I never see any cops. I just drove up and down the 40. Never saw any cops.
Right.
I drive out to California. You get out there in the middle of nowhere and Quartzsite and there's no cops. Correct. There are no cops at night.
Let me give you a couple numbers.
I'm ready.
All right. DPS is funded for 1,500 troopers.
All right, I got the number.
Okay. The agency can't fill 500 of those spots.
So they have the money to hire?
They're waiting.
They don't have the applicants.
Apparently. Whoa. And we wanted to look up Phoenix as well, because we know that Phoenix has had less cops for
Phoenix
years.
Police Department, yeah.
Phoenix is budgeted at 3,100 officers.
Okay, total 3,100.
They currently have 2,500.
So don't make me do the math.
We'll just say it's like 500.
They're down 500.
Yeah, 500 or 600.
So there is a need for officers.
Over 1,000 just right there.
Well, I got to believe that most other law enforcement agencies are feeling something similar. I'm saying DPS and Phoenix can't be these outliers.
So it begs the question.
Oh, boy.
Why can't they hire? And I think, I think that there are people out there and they have watched what has happened to police and they don't want to be filmed and they don't want to be a news story and they don't want to be part of the news. They don't want to show up somewhere and somebody starts, takes their phone and starts rolling in the middle of whatever they're doing.
I got no problem with the filming.
And I don't either. But in the middle of it, you don't see the beginning. So really, if you're watching the middle of it, that's not fair. You don't know how this whole thing started.
Do you think it's driven by that, or is it also driven by pay? We learned that DPS is the lowest paid law enforcement in the state of Arizona.
Right. But it's not that much less than Phoenix.
It's not dramatically less. I'm not going to. Yeah, I agree. But it is less.
Bad. Yeah.
And so one of the things we learned also is DPS said that they lose about 100 troopers a year. And my guess is they're not just all retiring. Some of them may be going because they could get more pay. People move around agencies. And if you already have, status and you already have training in one, you can apply your skills, your law enforcement skills at a different agency.
I know
stay closer to home.
I know some young police officers who have left the job. They didn't want to entirely after a few years. They didn't want to do it. They didn't feel like they were being protected by the people up top. They saw some other, cops get in trouble and they're like, okay, it's one of those things where didn't you do the right thing? Yeah, I did the right thing, but now I'm going to get hit because was I too aggressive? Well, that's how I was trained. And so I think there's a lot of different reasons why cops are leaving and then other people don't want to be cops.
Well, I think there's a self-fulfilling prophecy in this as well. The officers that I know talk about how far backup is away because they're stretched thin, because they're down on manpower in most agencies.
Lack of support.
You need another officer or officers to assist you for any reason. You may be waiting a while. They just aren't. They physically aren't there to help. And when you think about Maricopa County. And the numbers we got from the Troopers Association says on a typical night after the sun goes down until 5 a.m., maybe about 20 DPS troopers in all of Maricopa County.
Oh.
I mean, maybe you guys don't realize how big Maricopa County is. It's really big. You know what I'm saying? You spread them way out.
Right. You need those officers because at night, drunk drivers.
Oh, yeah.
Because at night, wrong way drivers.
Seems to be all the time, right?
Yeah. I mean, what if there's just a simple accident? that happens, and you need to call the police to take a report.
It starts pulling resources over in one way, and that means it's going to be thin in other areas.
A lot of people have pointed to the wrong way driving in Arizona and why it's such an issue here.
It is
because we don't have as many police patrolling the highways. Because at night, if you do that and you have more cops on the road, you should be.
Could they stop them earlier? Is your argument?
Yeah, I think you could. Yeah,
possibly. Yeah,
yeah. Or if there is someone that's driving drunk and on the wrong way, and now you call 911. All right, they've got to get somebody out there,
and
there are less people.
They are. Right,
there are less people out there. There are less cops out there.
Agreed.
So you're going to have more drunk driving. People either getting away with it or killing other people. Wrong way drivers, either they get away with it or they kill other people.
I don't want to brush over it, Gaydos. But the dangerous nature of the job was driven home to us over the weekend.
Oh, it sure was.
A Gila River police officer was shot and killed responding to a disturbance in Santan area, which is still part of the Gila, at least adjacent there. Officer Brees lost his life, and he was a relatively new officer, was still in their training program. Other officers were shot at this event as well.
It was a large crowd. It seemed like it was some sort of a party or a dance party.
I heard it referred to as.
Someone fired multiple gunshots. A total of 2 officers were injured, along with 4 other people at the scene. And yeah, I'm looking at this guy. He's in his 20s. Yeah. He's only been a cop for a year, maybe. Yeah. And his father was a Phoenix police officer. He lost his life in the line of duty.
Unreal. Can't imagine what that family's going through.
Well, think about, this officer who died over the weekend, his mother. His mother has had to bury her husband and now her son.
The worst case scenario twice, right?
Yeah. Is that a reason, possibly, that
fewer are choosing
because I think it's more dangerous out there for police.
Yeah.
I think they get shot at more. I just think it's way more dangerous now. I think these, you've got criminals that are out there, and that could be something too.
The res and I have friends that were Gila River police officers as well. They tell me that the res is a heck of a lot more dangerous than a lot of other places. We don't think about it like that, but it's a rough area.
They put a moratorium on dancing.
Yeah,
so this had something to do with a large dance that got out of control, and at the end of the day, you've got a young cop who's gone. Terrible.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Thanks for watching Outspoken with Bruce and Gaydos. Tap to watch more from KTAR News and click the button in the middle to subscribe.